Okay, so what's going on, y'all? It's Brother Tammuz, Brother Demuza, whichever one you want to call me. It doesn't matter. As you see in the title, I'm going to be talking about Brother Voodoo, Dr. Voodoo. Both are the same character. Alias, alter ego, Jericho Drumm. So I'm bringing this up because I seen the Doctor Strange movie, and it seems as though they're going to be introducing Brother Voodoo sometime soon. Either they're going to be introducing him on the Netflix side, and I'm really thinking that it's going to be the Netflix side of Marvel, the MCU. But for a lot of people who really don't know who Brother Voodoo or Dr. Voodoo is, it was a character back in the 70s, and then after the 70s, he kind of died down a little bit, and then they picked him back up heavily in the 2000s. Now, a while back, when I first found out who this character was, I did some research on him. And it wasn't just him, it was some black characters. I wanted to know all the black characters in the MCU, or not MCU, but in the Marvel universe. And I came across this guy, did some research, and when you look up on Wikipedia, for superheroes, they have a little part that says abilities, and his was longer than anybody's that I had ever researched. Does that necessarily mean that they're more powerful than the other character? Now, I should have forewarned anybody who's watching this video. It might turn a little nerdy. Okay, this is very different from any other video that I've done, but it still touches on the basis of race relations in America. But now, when you look up Doctor Strange, for instance, on Wikipedia, and right under abilities, it says Master of Magic, which basically means that he knows his shit and everybody else's shit, right? I don't know how the story goes. Doctor Strange fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only reason that he would be Master of Magic is with the Eye of Agamotto, right? Let's just say that that's the case. I'll be corrected in the comment section, I'm pretty sure. But when we look at the abilities and powers of Brother Voodoo without the Eye of Agamotto, it is extensive. Extensive mystical knowledge. That's one. Superhuman strength. Spirit possession. Fire manipulation. Immunity to fire. Ability to generate mystic smoke to conceal his location, usually accompanied by the sound of drums that could also disorient opponents. Ability to command living things through hypnosis, with lesser control over people and greater control over animals. Able to summon the spirit of his brother Daniel, boosting his own physical strength. Able to speak to the Loa, which are the gods in voodoo culture. Medallion enhances his ability to tap into the Loa. And Sorcerer Supreme, bearer of the Eye of Agamotto, the Cloak of Levitation, and the Books of Knowledge. The last one, it really doesn't count because we're not including the Eye of Agamotto. But, me personally, and this isn't coming from a stance of being pro-black. This is coming from a stance of actually reading and taking this shit into consideration and actually thinking, okay, if I was to write a Dr. Voodoo versus a Doctor Strange, who would actually come out the winner without the Eye of Agamotto? Of course it's going to be Brother Voodoo. Now, the whole point of this video is really to point out what I don't like about Marvel Comics. I made a video earlier within the month about the founders of both Marvel Comics and DC Comics, and in DC in the comics and in the on the small screen, big screen, video games as well. DC blatantly degrades, disrespects their black characters or the position of the black character. In Marvel Comics, not so much. Now, with this whole, MCU thing that was going on or whatever. Now, I stated this in the other video that I did, that DC is more blatant. Marvel is a little bit more covert. When Marvel started doing their TV thing and they saw that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was doing pretty good, they could have came out with another show, another TV show, where they could have glorified the black character. As you've seen on the CW channel, CW station, they were popping them out back to back. They came out with Arrow. They came out with Flash. They came out with DC Legends of Tomorrow, and then they came out with Supergirl. And then they started doing little cartoons. They always do the cartoons or whatever. The only black cartoon movie that DC has is Black Panther, and of course we're getting that movie in next year, 2018. But it just goes to show how Marvel is a lot more covert with their racism towards their characters, their discrimination towards their characters. They're gonna let all of their white characters get the shine. Okay? Now, it's cool that, we had Falcon, and the character that they made him, tough. And this is with the rest of them. These isn't no little, no sellout. Like they actually represent black people well. Falcon, War Machine, Black Panther, and I think those were the only three in the MCU. But then on Netflix you have Luke Cage, or whatever. But all of these, characters are represented well. But these are secondary characters, except for Black Panther, Falcon, even Luke Cage. These are secondary characters. This isn't who the kids are running to these aren't who the kids are running to the stores to buy. The kids are running to the stores to buy Hulk, Spider-Man, Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. But, and yes, this is a rant. This is a pet peeve of mine. Being a fan, of certain characters, and then you watching, stereotypical, regular shit, get popularized. You see what I'm saying? And with Marvel, I mean, think about who really knew about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. if you weren't a Marvel fan. You talk to anybody, they don't know who the hell Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is. So just like you were able to give Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a chance, you could have gave Brother Voodoo a chance. You know what I'm saying? That you did give Luke Cage a chance. And Luke Cage did great. I think they said they had to shut down servers. It blew up the Netflix server or, something like that. But it did great. For a lot of lesser known characters, who have these powers and things like this, a lot of black kids need to see this. But the other point that I wanted to make in this rant, the first rant, in case you didn't get it, was Brother Voodoo should have been put out a long time ago. That was the point. Instead of waiting for a Doctor Strange movie. Second point of the rant. A lot of Marvel's black characters are a whole lot stronger and a whole lot smarter than the white characters. It's a great mistake that they made when they let black writers take over, the continuity. That's just like Reginald Thulin, who wrote for Black Panther, put Black Panther in a lot of scenarios where he just, became one of the smartest, if not the smartest, tactical fighter, in Marvel Universe. Knows every single martial arts. He's physical and he's smart. So, that puts him at the top of the list of black characters in the MCU or in the Marvel comic universe. But what I feel is going to happen, what always happens, is on the big screen, the black characters are going to get downplayed even more. Matter of fact, I raised the question to one of my co-workers when we were talking about movies that were going to be coming out next year. Black Panther is going to be going up against Pacific Rim. Now, if you're not following my British Black Actor Privilege series on Facebook, you're probably not going to understand this, but I'm going to try to make this make the most sense possible. With Marvel Universe, they're not going to do it on the screen. They're not going to downplay the American black actor on the screen. Not in the open, not overtly, but they're going to do it covertly. And the black British actor privilege that you are seeing here with Black Panther coming out in February 2018. You also have Pacific Rim coming out in 2018 in the same month. And John Boyega is, I believe, the main star of that movie. I'm not sure. I haven't researched it. This is me going off of hearsay, and just skimming through the cast. But a lot of the drama that's going on right now, from same-sex, with the LGBTQ controversy that's going to be in the movie, by the Black Panther poster that looks like Huey P. Newton, and just the whole slew of other shit that even the conscious community has caused for, the bullshit that the conscious community has caused for Black Panther. Black Panther just might not do as good as we all hope that it will do, simply because of those three things that I stated: LGBTQ controversy, the movie poster, and the bullshit that the conscious community has brought up towards it, or whatever. But we'll see. But yeah, man, if you're not a comic book fan, and you want to see, black people just doing good, in another aspect of genre, Marvel is the place to go. Marvel is most definitely the place to go to if you want to look for, for as comic books who have black, characters who are vastly intelligent, very positive light that they put black people under. From Monica Rambeau to Blue Marvel to Brother Voodoo, it's a lot, man, and you won't find a lot who have their own titles. That's that's the other part that I wanted to talk about as far as the comic book is concerned. Now, he had his own comic book in the 70s, and then he had a little run. I think it was back in 2010, or between 2010 and 14. I can't remember which dates it was set, but that was a title. But it only ran for five issues. Brother Voodoo, without the eye logo, just, the example I used earlier in the video, him without the eye of Agamotto is stronger than Doctor Strange. Why wouldn't somebody who is vastly stronger than Doctor Strange not have his own comic? But, of course we know why. That'll cause conflict between the racist people in the cosplay world. And speaking of cosplay, I'm going to start doing a series on the different subcultures. I had a conversation with a sister who is a part of the goth community by the name of Mori Darkmoss. Shout out to her. About the different subcultures, and it was something that she said that sparked me wanting to actually do more research on the subject. And it's very interesting when you get down to the meat, of the subject matter when it comes to subculture. Especially for those of us who like to talk about culture appropriation, and we not know the different subculture groups. So it's a good thing to kind of learn the different subculture groups when we're talking about culture appropriation, just so that we can know what we're talking about, so we won't get stuck in an argument, with somebody who actually knows about culture, and now you're trying to rationalize your stance so that it can fit your own narrative instead of it being objectively truth. You see what I'm saying? So it's important for us to get off into that knowledge. It's important for us to get off into that knowledge of the different subculture groups in order for us to better understand the world around us. So yeah, shout out to Mori Darkmoss. Shout out to all of the black nerds, who is out there, still doing the comic book thing, making us look positive in a different genre of culture that we are, not so very heavy in, shout out to all of y'all who are considered nerds, I used to be a part of that, probably still is. But shout out to all y'all, man, and let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Check out the content on the channel. Yes, this is a race/political YouTube channel, and it's really mainly about pissing off racist whites. But if you try that liberal shit, I swear to God, you're gonna get it if you believe in God. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.